If I told you your weak legs are not from age, would you believe me? What if the real problem is the way you are losing weight? In the morning, you have to grab the edge of the bed just to stand up. After carrying a few light grocery bags, your thighs are already shaking. Your weight does not go up, your pants still fit, but you feel weaker and even a few steps feel hard. The good news is you do not have to accept that. The human body does more than burn or store fat, it can adapt. When you learn to flip this adaptation switch with enough protein, moderate resistance training, good sleep, and a few key habits, you can lose fat while keeping or even gaining muscle. You do not need a fancy gym or punishing workouts, you just need the right strategy. And the problem is not just the number on the scale. What you and I really want is to lose fat but keep muscle, so your legs stay strong in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. That is what we call body recomposition. This is not only for athletes. At 60, 70, or 80, you can still stand up with a steady base, carry things with confidence, and hold your grandchild without losing your breath. When you keep your muscle, blood sugar is steadier, bones are stronger, and balance improves. Most importantly, you protect your independence. Keeping muscle is not only about walking steadily, it also helps protect blood sugar, heart health, and may be linked to lower risk of cognitive decline. Every chair squat and every step you take is an investment in your brain, in your lifespan. In this video, I will walk you step by step through why losing weight at all costs quietly steals your muscle and how to reverse it with enough protein, the right kind of exercise, solid sleep, and a few simple helpers. Starting today, you can lose fat, keep muscle, and get stronger in a smart, safe, and sustainable way. So why does losing weight at all costs make your body weaker? Let us look at what happens when you lose muscle while trying to lose weight. When you tighten your diet, you often cut a lot of carbs and eat less overall. The problem is that protein usually drops with it. Your body then lacks energy and the raw material it needs to repair muscle, so it starts burning your own muscle tissue for fuel. At first, the number on the scale drops quickly, then you feel weaker and get cold more easily. When you go back to normal eating, fat comes back quickly, but muscle is much harder to restore. Losing weight that way is like slowly selling off the machines in a workshop just to make the building lighter. It may look tidy, but now you have nothing left to run the place. Your body is the same. The scale is lighter, but your legs are weak, your strength is low, and you are more likely to fall. Instead of only chasing a lower weight, we need to care about body composition. How much of you is fat and how much is muscle? We do not just want to be smaller. We want to be stronger, more stable on our feet, and leaner at the same time. Science calls this recomp or body recomposition. For people in their 60s to 80s, this is even more important because every bit of muscle you keep gives you more independence. That means standing up without holding on, carrying things without shaking, and climbing a few steps without getting winded. The good news is that body recomposition is still possible at 60, 70, and 80. Research is very clear that when older adults eat enough protein, do proper resistance training, move regularly, and sleep well, they can lose fat while keeping or even gaining muscle. So if losing fat and gaining strength do not have to fight each other, what is the first step? It starts with what you eat every day, especially protein, and then how you train, walk, and sleep. Let us start with the most important building block in this whole framework, which is protein. For older adults, a reasonable goal is about 1.2 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. Most people benefit around 1.5 to 2.0 grams per kilogram. Some studies show that higher protein can help protect muscle better during weight loss. Divide this into 3 to 4 meals per day, and make sure each meal has a real serving of protein, not just a few thin slices of meat or a bowl of broth. Good protein sources include eggs, lean meat, fish, shrimp, tofu, milk, and yogurt. If you still cannot meet your needs, you may consider whey. Breakfast is very important. If breakfast is too low in protein, your muscles miss the chance to start building early in the day. Aim for about 20 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast, such as 2 eggs with thick yogurt or whey with eggs, to send a strong signal to your muscles. When you keep a small calorie deficit and eat enough protein, your body's more likely to burn fat instead of breaking down muscle. Studies in older adults show that high protein combined with resistance training helps maintain or even increase lean mass during weight loss. Be careful with fast-absorbing carbs. If you eat a lot of white rice, sweets, or sugary drinks around a high-protein meal, blood sugar and insulin can rise high and stay up. That makes fat burning harder and reduces muscle recovery. A simple tip is to add fiber and vegetables to the meal and walk 10 to 15 minutes after eating to lower the blood sugar peak. Eating alone is not enough. Your muscles need a clear signal that they are being used, and that is where resistance training comes in. You do not need a gym or heavy weights. At 60 or 70 plus, simple movements are enough, such as sitting down and standing up from a chair, wall push-ups, pulling on resistance bands, stepping onto a low step, and calf raises. These already send a strong, keep this muscle signal. In each session, choose about 4 to 6 exercises. For each exercise, do 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions and rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Move slowly and with control. For example, lower for 2 to 3 seconds and lift in 1 second, and keep breathing steadily. It should feel heavy but not like a sharp pain. At the end of a set, you should feel you could only do 1 or 2 more reps. If for 2 sessions in a row you can easily do more than planned, it is time to make the exercise slightly harder by adding reps, using a stronger band, or wearing a light backpack. Over a week, each large muscle group, like legs, back, chest, and shoulders, should get about 10 to 20 sets in total to see progress. You do not have to remember the exact numbers. Just make sure every week includes some against resistance work so your muscles have a reason to stay. Before each session, warm up for 5 to 10 minutes with walking and joint circles and stretch lightly afterward. Stop right away if you feel chest pain, unusual shortness of breath, dizziness, or sharp joint pain. If you have chronic conditions or joint pain, talk with your doctor or a specialist before you increase the difficulty. Now, to burn fat steadily and keep blood sugar calm, we add walking and light movement. For most older adults, a realistic goal is 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day, but you do not need to obsess over the number. The important thing is to stay consistent. Break it up across the day. After each meal, walk 10 to 15 minutes around your home or neighborhood to help digestion and lower the blood sugar peak. If your joints allow, mix in a few flights of stairs. Light housework like sweeping the yard, watering plants, and mopping the floor also count as helpful background movement, or NEAT. Keep the intensity light to moderate, at a level where you can still talk comfortably while walking. You do not need intense, all-out exercise. If you sleep poorly, have unstable blood pressure, or feel very tired, avoid HIIT, sprints, or all-out cycling because they can add extra stress on your heart and vessels. In those times, a moderate resistance session plus gentle walking is safer and more effective. After using light movement to keep blood sugar calm, lock in those benefits with a full night of sleep. When you sleep 7 to 9 hours each night, your body has time to organize and repair the muscle fibers that were stressed by daily life and training. If you miss sleep for many nights, muscle recovery goes down, blood sugar control worsens, and cravings for sweets and starch rise, as if you cut the power line to your recovery system. If you slept poorly last night, what should you do today? Reduce fast carbs like sweets, sugary drinks, and large amounts of white bread. Keep your protein intake steady. Do light to moderate resistance training, focusing on form and feeling, rather than chasing numbers. Keep walking and light housework to help your body work through some of the metabolic stress from lack of sleep. A few extra tips are to get some morning sunlight, limit caffeine after noon, and go to bed and wake up at similar times so the next night of sleep can be better. Behind this whole picture is insulin. Too much body fat, long-term, stress, processed foods, and low activity can all keep insulin high for too long. High insulin works like a lock on your fat cells, making it hard for fat to be released and burned. To unlock it, you need reasonable eating, regular movement, good sleep, and better insulin sensitivity over time. Finally, let us talk about the helpers, which are not the main actors. Vitamin D is needed for bone and muscle health, and many people are low without knowing it. It is best to check your 25 and OHD level and supplement based on your doctor's guidance. Omega-3 fats, especially EPA and DHA, help reduce inflammation, may improve insulin sensitivity, and support heart and muscle function. Caffeine from black coffee helps you feel more alert and can increase fat use during activity. Avoid drinking it too close to bedtime. Whey protein is rich in leucine, is absorbed quickly, and strongly triggers muscle building after a meal or after training. It is convenient to fill protein gaps when a meal does not provide enough. Urolithin A supports the mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, and may improve muscle endurance in older age. It depends on your budget and is not essential. In addition, if you already train with resistance regularly, you may consider adding creatine, because creatine only truly works when your muscles are asked to work often, and if you do not train, the benefit is small. A common dose is about 3 to 5 grams per day, which can help increase strength and lean muscle mass. Take it every day, whether you train or rest. In general, creatine is safe for healthy people. But if you have kidney disease or take special medicines, talk with your doctor first. Remember, all of these are optimizations, the finishing touches. Before thinking about any pill or powder, make sure you have done the 3 main things well. Eat enough protein and in the right way, train with resistance regularly, and sleep with good quality. When these are in place, supplements are just small accents to help you move faster and more steadily. Besides supplements, do not forget the silent factors that slow your progress, such as low vitamin D, chronic inflammation, and insulin resistance. They do not hurt right away, but over time they make fat loss harder and muscle maintenance more difficult. If you suspect blood sugar problems, high lipids, or fatty liver, get checked and talk with your doctor. Then adjust your eating, sleep, and exercise framework to match your situation. To make this easier to picture, let me tell you briefly about James, who is 72 years old. Before, his breakfast was usually a slice of toast with jam and a glass of orange juice. Lunch was a sandwich made mostly of white bread. Dinner was pasta or potatoes with very little meat or fish. Most of the day he sat watching TV, went to bed late, and often woke up during the night. When he stood up from the sofa, he usually had to push off his thighs with both hands, and even a few steps outside his front door left him short of breath. After getting guidance, he gently cut back on bread and pasta and added real protein to each meal. Breakfast became an omelet with Greek yogurt. At lunch, he added grilled chicken or salmon. Dinner included beans and a little cheese. On days when he could not eat much, he drank a protein shake. He trained 3 times per week with very simple exercises. Chair squats, where he sat down and stood up from a chair, wall push-ups, and light dumbbell lifts. Every day he walked 10 to 15 minutes after lunch and dinner, tried to go to bed earlier, and aimed for about 7 hours of sleep each night. After about 6 to 8 weeks, his weight dropped only about 1 to 2 kilograms, but his waist was smaller and his old jeans were looser by 1 notch. He could stand up from the sofa without using his hands and carry 2 grocery bags from the parking lot to his home with much more confidence. That is a clear example of losing fat while keeping muscle and strength. And to see that James's story is not an exception, let us look quickly at some scientific numbers in a very simple way. A high-protein breakfast means aiming for 20 to 30 grams of protein. For example, 2 eggs with Greek yogurt, or 1 scoop of whey blended with milk and berries. If breakfast is just a sweet pastry or thin milk, your muscles are being starved at a very important time. Stay consistent for 6 to 8 weeks with enough protein, resistance training 2 to 3 times per week, daily walking, and 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Many people start to feel changes, such as standing up more easily, climbing stairs with less breathlessness, and feeling their legs more solid. This does not happen in 3 or 4 days. Your body needs time to rebuild. To keep blood sugar steady, limit high glycemic carbs around high-protein meals, such as large portions of white bread, pastries, and sugary drinks. Choose whole grain bread or oats, add vegetables or salad, and pick whole fruit instead of juice. Walking 10 to 15 minutes after meals helps flatten the blood sugar peak. Science supports these simple habits. Many studies show that enough protein plus resistance training helps older adults keep or even increase muscle and strength. Daily walking is linked to lower risk of death and chronic disease and helps you stay active longer. Now let us turn those numbers into daily actions, starting very simply. In the morning, do not just drink thin milk or eat a sweet pastry. Add 1 or 2 eggs or a scoop of whey, maybe with Greek yogurt or some oats. After eating, walk gently around your home, clear the table, and get things ready so your body can warm up smoothly. Around mid-morning, do a short 3 to 5 minute exercise circuit. Sit down and stand up from a chair 10 times. Do 10 wall push-ups. Then do 10 band pulls, or pull with water bottles if you do not have a band. In the afternoon or evening, after your main meal, walk 10 to 15 minutes around your neighborhood. Walk slowly and breathe deeply to relax your neck and shoulders. To avoid feeling overwhelmed, in the first week, choose just one small habit and do it every day. Either a solid protein breakfast or the sit-to-stand exercise, or walking after meals. In the second week, add a second habit. In the third week, add a third. Step by step, your pattern of eating, sleeping, and training will settle in without shock. If you have heart disease, diabetes, or joint pain, talk with your doctor before you increase activity or use supplements. Even before thinking about pills, you already hold 3 natural medicines in your hands: enough protein, regular steps, and good sleep. And finally, do not look only at your weight. If you eat too little protein and cut calories too hard, the number may drop, but much of what you lose is muscle. What you and I want is to walk steadily, stand up without holding on, and climb stairs without losing breath. You are not dieting just to become a smaller number on the scale. You are rebuilding your body so you can stand up by yourself, walk on your own, hold your grandchildren, and live your life on your own terms for longer. Also pay attention to how your clothes fit, the strength of your grip, and how you feel when you climb stairs or stand up and sit down. Those are the real signs that you are keeping muscle and getting stronger. And now I invite you to do one small thing today. Either choose enough protein for your breakfast tomorrow or walk 10 minutes after lunch. If you would like me to continue this series on exercises and high-protein meal plans for people over 60, please leave the word CO below so I know and can stay with you on this journey. If this conversation has been helpful, please like the video, share it with someone who wants to be healthier and leaner, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening. Now let us get to work.